Mike and I are about to go on a 4-hour airplane ride from Chicago to LA, and it's during lunchtime. So I was thinking I want to pack a bunch of food because if you think about it, the airport has lousy options and it's super expensive. Plus I'm pregnant and so extra nutrition is even more important. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I packed and hopefully it'll give you some ideas for your next journey. Now, normally I don't think twice about going to the airport. I just eat a big meal before I go and maybe pack a piece of fruit in my bag. But if you're going for a longer journey or traveling internationally or have young ones with you, then having some healthy food on hand can really be a lifesaver. Now, when I pack food, I like to think about balance. So I make sure I have protein, carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, and maybe some drinks and desserts. So let's start with protein. Now, all my food I'm packing in this insulated bag because it keeps your food nice and cool. And what I always go to when I travel are nuts and seeds because they're really easy to pack and they don't spoil easily. So right now I'm really into pumpkin seeds. They're high in zinc, so tasty. These are sprouted pumpkin seeds from a company called Go Raw. Really, really tasty. Now they are a little bit more expensive. You can actually make sprouted pumpkin seeds yourself, and I'll put instructions in the video description below if you want to save a little money. Some other protein sources I like are cheese sticks. This is organic cheese sticks. Of course, kids love these, and it's a really easy thing to pack. I just make sure I have it refrigerated right before I go, and then it stays nice and cool, and it's totally fine. Another option are hard-boiled eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs. A little bit of sea salt, make a wonderful snack. I'll never forget too, the one time I saw an egg in an airport that they were selling, it was really hard to distinguish the yolk from the white. That is how anemic the yolk was. And it was like, yuck, I'm never gonna touch any of that kind of stuff in an airport again. So something to think about when you're packing. Some people also like to do beef or salmon or turkey jerky. So that's another option for protein if you're into that sort of thing. Now let's move on to carbohydrates. Now this can be a little tricky because most pretzels, chips, crackers, and stuff that you find in the store are just full of bad ingredients from cheap oils, hard to digest grains, just sugar sometimes. So there's not a lot of options out there, but there are a few. So the one I'm really excited to try is this new Way Better Snacks. This is their sprouted blue corn tortilla chips. And a lot of the ingredients in here are sprouted, which is, again, it's easier to digest, boosts the nutrition. It's not a perfect product because they use high oleic sunflower oil, but that is a healthier oil than like soybean or canola or corn oil. So when I travel, I practice the 80-20 rule, and these will definitely do in a pinch. You could also make your own popcorn and use coconut oil or butter, put it in a bag, and you're good to go. I also like Mary's Be Gone crackers. They're gluten-free. They're just basically nuts and seeds. They're really delicious, and they taste great with cheese. I also bought this Two Moms and the Raw granola bars. Now this is a pricier little treat, but I deserve it. And it's basically like raw oats, nuts and seeds, some fruit in there. Now they do use agave as a sweetener, but I'm fine with it. I mean, again, this is something I'm not gonna have all the time, and it's a treat. And I love these because I can put them in my purse, so if we're like out and about while we're traveling, it makes a great snack. Okay, now moving on to vegetables. This can be another really hard category when you're traveling. So what I basically do is just pack my own. I love carrot sticks. They're like a go-to. I just make my own. They're really great. I've also done cucumbers or snap peas. Really easy. Kids like them. This trip I'm going to do some cherry tomatoes. This has been one of my pregnancy cravings. Love tomatoes, and just really easy to eat on the plane. Another idea is if you've got young ones are these little squeezies. They're organic. They're fruit and vegetable purees, and sometimes Mike and I will even have a taster too. So something to think about if you're traveling with tots. And then another thing I like to pack are these organic wheatgrass powders. These are single servings. They're like $1 each. I got them at Whole Foods, and I'm really impressed with it. They're raw. There's no fillers. They taste okay, and it's a great way to get some extra greens when you're on the road, which isn't always easy. In terms of fruits, I bring bananas and apples. Those are really easy to pack. I also, this time around, am doing some organic raisins, which I'm not really a raisin girl, but I thought, you know what, this is great for like a dessert, just having even a couple of raisins, just to get a little sweet tooth, craving satisfied. And it's also, of course, great for kids when they're on the go. And I can also throw those in my purse in case I go through like a low blood sugar moment. It's good to go. And then, yeah, so I think that pretty much captures my basic food groups. Now let's talk a little bit about drinks and desserts. Now, unfortunately with drinks, we're kind of at the mercy of the airline because we can't bring liquids past the terminal or into the terminal. So, but if you look around, you can find sometimes coconut water at various of those little like newsstands. So be sure to look at that because it's kind of like a hot drink right now. Otherwise, just water works. Sometimes Mike and I, when we're on a flight, he'll get an apple juice, I'll get a seltzer water, and we'll kind of combine the two and kind of have like a fruity, sparkling drink. Again, it's not perfect, but it does, it works in a pinch, and it's kind of a little treat. Speaking of treats, when it comes to desserts, I'm not a big dessert girl because I don't eat refined sugars and that sort of thing, but Mike does. So I like to get him like little chocolates. These are little dark chocolates from Whole Foods. They're like really cheap, little skinny guys. So we'll just pack some of those just so you can have those after a meal. I did find though one dessert I could enjoy, and this is from Hail Mary. These are macaroons. And they're basically just like coconut and almond meal and coconut oil and some maple syrup. So it's a healthier dessert. It's actually pretty high in like good fats, and it's a little bit lower in carbohydrates. So I might enjoy one or two of these on the road. And then finally, I like to have some like auxiliary foods or some like, just to get some more vitamins and minerals in me when I travel. I like to use some kind of like vitamin C powder. Now, I used to drink Emergency, which is a very popular fizzy drink, but actually their vitamin C is derived from GMO corn. So I have found an alternative. This is kind of like a Crunchy Mama's version of Emergency, and it's called Ultima Replenisher. And it's got the kind of similar minerals like vitamin C, potassium, magnesium, that sort of thing. You put it in water, you know, it's kind of a fun thing to drink, and it kind of wards off some of those colds and flus and things that you can pick up when you're on an airplane. So there you have it. As you can see, we've got a big feast ahead of us. I'm really excited, but would love to hear from you. What do you pack when you travel? Share with us in the comments below, and thanks as always for tuning in.